Huh.
We're rolling.
Back.
Back.
Shit. Sometimes I wonder how much bigger the camera's actually recording than it's showing me on the screen.
Well, in the video, it showed, like, when I'm looking at it now here, it looks like you're like long rectangle. But on the video on YouTube, you did not look like that at all. It was full. Like, these bands were gone. Do you have the bands on your end?
I don't know what bands you mean.
You don't, then? Like,
I guess not, no.
What is it called? Letterbox. You're like this. You're like this right now. But you're like this. You're like widescreen when it was on YouTube.
Here's my question is, when you held your hands up, could you see both your hands on your screen?
Yeah.
Can you see both
right
of my
now,
hands?
it's my... yes.
I couldn't see both of your hands. Yours were out like this. But you say on your screen you can see them.
This is the edge. This is the edge.
Anyways, when I
edge?
record with my regular camera, there's a 0.5 mode that I didn't realize it was recording in. Maybe there's a 0.3 mode that it doesn't let me get to. You know what I mean?
This thing's weird. I don't know. It's like I was watching a video on Riverside on what it does, and it like records locally, which I think means in your phone it's recording, and that's why it uploads. So if we did it on Zoom, and like right now I'm looking at you, and you have a shitty internet connection, like it's like, but I know from doing it that once it uploads, it's going to be clear, and you're going to look better than I look. Like right now, you look like you're just you're dull. But when it's all uploaded, you always have the higher quality because you do it out of your phone, and I do it off of this little camera here on my computer.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point, I want to start doing my phone and getting more into it, and then continue to build this and build this. I had another hell of a day with technology. I'm trying to switch brokers, and it's just a pain in the ass. I don't know. I talked to my friend, his name's Wub, and he has like all these issues, like health issues, so he's always on like customer service trying to get doctors and things. And we're just talking about how in life, in the modern world, how there's so much customer service. And there's so many like calling like a center and waiting and talking to somebody and trying to get like something done. And it's all these like massive issues that people have that if I were to explain it to you, it'd be boring. It'd be super boring. Like you don't want to hear about
my... Everybody goes through that in their own kind of capacity, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Everybody has these like I've befriended like on Apple customer service, I've befriended people and made like true bonds and talked to them for like 8 hours, and then they're just gone, you know? And then I've had like fights. Like I left one time really angry. This guy was like like being really snippy with me. But I still get sort of angry when I think about it. But I just think about, like, I had this massive issue with AT&T and Apple phone where they were charging me, and it lasted for months. And it was awful. But if I try to explain it to anyone, it's like you're just gonna, like, I wouldn't want to hear it from someone else.
I wouldn't
but
either.
It's like
we all go through that shit. Shut up. They're fucking all of us like that.
But that's what I'm saying. There must be a way to make like a movie that makes it compelling, that goes through this customer service hell, this nightmare of modern
that everything they
customer
make a
service.
Movie about we stop believing in. It's now like fantasy land that could never happen to us.
What do you mean?
Like, there's a lot of stuff in movies that have come out over the last few years that have actually happened in real life in one way, shape, or form.
Like, are you talking like predictions? Like everyone says like the Simpsons and cartoons.
Are they predictions? Really? It's like.
Are you talking about Carl Jung? Like Carl Jung collective consciousness shit?
Okay, so there was.
Give me some examples.
Do you remember the boat that took out the what was it? It wasn't the Boston Bridge, was it?
Yeah, it happened like last year, right?
It was
It
a
was
few
a
years ago now. Yeah.
it was like it was somewhat recently. I vaguely remember. Yeah, the boat. There was the boat. It was like the guy. It was a Mexican boat, right? It was like a Mexican boat,
Uh,
right, from Mexico, and it
I
took out a
remember it hit
bridge.
the bridge. I remember the pictures I saw had like animal skins and stuff laying in the water, and I thought that was kind of wild. But it hit the bridge, took out the bridge, and see if you can find it. But the ship lost power and somehow hit it, and now they need a new bridge, and they're like
Yeah.
4 years into building it.
Was it in Ohio?
No, it was in
Francis Key Scott Bridge. Boat took out bridge.
no, what's the one
Mexico.
by Washington D.C.
Yeah, Mexican Navy, May of last year, tall ship with Brooklyn Bridge, leave 2 dead and many injured. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Here, we'll do the boat took out bridge. This thing, right?
Mexican Navy ship captain of the Brooklyn Bridge. No, I don't think it was Brooklyn, man.
Yeah, I don't remember it being Brooklyn. I remember Mexican Navy. Well, this happened. There's a couple. It wasn't just one bridge. Like I remember this happened. Like,
what happened with that?
Ship's
bow. What are the details?
This happened last year, but I do remember another boat that took out the bridge where the thing was broken.
What happened with that?
And
I never heard anything about that. What happened with that?
Maritime expert times. Tugboat pushes ship. Wind's blowing. See this. I remember this. Like, uh-oh. He's like, oh, you just want to stop it. You're like, no, please, no.
Pushed it into the bridge?
I think it couldn't move it. There's something wrong with it. Yeah, there's something. For minutes, the ship had left the pier, causing the top.
Bro, before we hit start on this, I could have told you this. Easy. And you're the one with the internet. Pull up a map of America. I can point to it. No, that's But okay, so anyways, this ship lost power. It hit the bridge. They're still building the bridge now. There's a movie that came out just a few years ago where on the movie this fucking ship lost power the same fucking way when hit shore. It was a movie about the end of America, and it ended up like Obama was helped funding that movie through his propaganda movie film.
Did you see that? I saw the Obama one where the world came to an end.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. This thing, there's this one. Look at that. Ouch.
Yeah, where was that?
This was in Baltimore.
Look at that. The Baltimore Bridge, yeah.
Yeah, it's full of cargo.
Yeah.
2024. That was 2 years ago. So, well, there's the whole thing with 9/11, and they show like all the coincidences, like in the cartoons, like even The Simpsons, Batman.
Yeah, but
there's all the
with memes and the internet, this is happening way fast.
So do you have a theory? Do you have a theory on this? Do you think it's just coincidences? Do you think it's collective consciousness, or do you think that there's someone orchestrating?
How could it be coincidence if they keep telling us what's going to happen and then they do it?
You think it's a they that does it then? You don't think it's just
I don't think any one person could do it. No.
Do you have a mechanism behind this? You think it's the Illuminati?
I think it's think tanks. I think it's wrapped up in think tanks.
So basically the Illuminati, whether they call themselves that or not.
The Illuminati. No, not necessarily the Illuminati.
Illuminati adjacent, then.
Sure. Groups of friends that get together with other groups of friends and talk about stuff like we do, but they don't publish it.
Yeah, and they can make things happen.
Well, even if they can't make things happen, just being able to talk about something. When me, you, and Jeff get together and we can hang out in the car and we all get to work out stuff between us, we get to work out a collective understanding, right? And when we go out, even though we don't like to admit it, each other's ideas are affecting how we're walking into our new ideas. But if you had a group of 30 people that did that, and they were in kind of influential states, and they could all influence each other's ideas on what was right and how to go about things, and what was going to ultimately lead to a better good, then it's kind of like a natural flow. You know what I mean?
So do you think, when you're saying this, I'm trying to understand. Do you think that they, give me a second, they orchestrate it? Like they orchestrate it and they make sure that that boat hits the bridge? Or do you think they speak into existence, like in a magic sort of collective consciousness way, that if we talk about something enough, that it affects the ether, the energies of what's going to happen in the future and the destiny of things, and then that's what causes it? Like sort of a metaphysical way or a physical way?
Both, because the more you talk about it, and then the more people see it, the more that it builds itself. Because I believe we're all kind of like dreamers, and when we stop dreaming of a good future, we stop achieving a good future. And therefore, in the long term, it's probably better if we didn't see a good collective future for everybody in somebody's think tank. You know what I mean?
So when you say think tank, you like, you think that people are up, that they have actual groups of people that
there's one
get
literally
together.
going on right now publicly. There's one literally going on right now publicly in Davos.
What?
The WEF?
Yeah, is that a think tank, or that's more like a think tank? I always thought of a think tank as like influential people or people that are experts that are grouped together, usually in private, and they like think of scenarios and they use logic and game theory and try to figure out what this move's going to be. But you're saying that they can do it like that you, me, and Jeff, like when we're driving, we're our own little think tank, and we can will things into existence, like through like
in a manner of speaking. We can
sort of like magic with a K, like kind of like we were talking before, that there is a consciousness that we're all a part of, and the magic thing, that magic is a focused energy, and the more people that you put into it, the more that you can affect the things around, and you speak into existence. First spiritual, and then physical.
That's right? Definitely a way of looking at that. Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's what you're thinking.
In a manner of
I don't know.
In a manner of
I don't know.
Okay, so if you know that a think tank, you've just basically described everything that a think tank is, but aren't schools a form of a think tank?
I think that like some schools, when it comes to actual like that have any sort of bearing on what policies are made, I think lots of schools are. Like Ohio State has tremendous power in Ohio, and in certain fields I know that they do. I know their medical field. I know that their Lex Wexner, big name on that, has a lot to do. Dude, the Wexner Center, he's huge in Ohio State. Huge. And now we're finding out how huge he was throughout the world. Well, I mean, he was clearly huge, but
let me put it in a different kind of idea. The reason that I guess if you look at the mind is organizing everything. You know what I mean? It's putting logic to things. And if you didn't have a group of people with like minds, you couldn't have organized crime. You couldn't have government. Government exists the same way Jesus does. You've never seen government. Government just has people and buildings who they want money all the time. It exists in the same way.
I see the representations of government all the time.
I see representations all over the place, but the government itself is an entity that we all believe in. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever heard of transurfing? Because what you're describing is something that's called transurfing. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know what we're getting into on this talk, bro.
But no, okay, no, it's called transurfing. It was before that the trans term became like that. But have you ever heard of transurfing?
No, I've never heard of that.
What you're describing is what they call pendulums.
Pendulums.
Transurfing Pendulums. Yes, self-help.
Yeah, pull that up.
It's Russian. On the Pendulums. The Pendulum is a very, very, very interesting thing. I hope if there's only a quick video on the Pendulums. Let me see. AI. Transurfing Pendulums. All right. You there, buddy? What are you doing? Where'd you go?
It's multitasking, bro. Multitasking.
Dude, you're multitasking during the podcast. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a half-ass multitask podcast. I gotta get some heat going,
I know
bro.
this.
You're in the comfort.
If we get too good at this, the name's gonna have to change to the WAPod, the whole ass podcast, and then we're in a world of pain in that. So here it is. Vadim Zealand, reality transurfing. A pendulum is an energy information structure created by the collective thought. What?
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm just reading it, but let me see.
Okay, just keep going then. Just keep reading. Oh, my bad. I'll show you.
Let me see. Here, we'll share the screen. So, a pendulum is an energy information structure by collective thought patterns and emotions of a group of people. Pendulums feed on human mental energy. So you and I, right now, in our little podcast thing, we now have a small pendulum. You, me, and Jeff are a pendulum.
Yes.
Ohio State is a pendulum. The United States of America is a pendulum. Every work environment you've ever been has a collective energy or a zeitgeist that has its own energy, that once it begins, like, that's why a company, like Steve Jobs is dead and there's still an Apple. He created Apple and Apple is separate. So the thing about a pendulum, it's anytime a group of people get together, basically, a pendulum is created. Pendulums feed on human mental energy, and their primary goal is to attract more followers and keep them engaged, often by manipulating emotions like fear, anger, guilt, or excitement. So when a large group of people get together in a specific direction, and it could be a belief, it could be like a church. Clearly a church is a pendulum. Thought waves superimpose from an energetic entity, the pendulum. The pendulum is almost like a being in itself. The energy consumption. Pendulums are energy vampires. They latch onto individuals' intention and emotional reactions, both positive and negative, to sustain and grow themselves. They always seek growth. Every organization always seeks more growth, to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. I have a friend in the military that says that anytime you get anything together, it always seeks to expand and expand and expand. It's like the March of Dimes. I think it was for like a disease. I forgot. It was like maybe polio or another one. But then once they cured it, March of Dimes still around. They go, well, now what do we do? Well, we got to figure something else out. For example, political conflicts, social media drama, other sports rivalries are all pendulums that thrive on emotional engagement. When a person is under the influence of a destructive pendulum, they lose their freedom and they become a cog in the big mechanism. I've been at jobs that have felt like that. Often pursuing goals that are not their own goals, but they're imposed by the pendulum. Lack of consciousness. Pendulums are not conscious beings with intentions. They are simply energy structures acting according to the laws of the energy ocean, seeking to stabilize and gain momentum. So how to deal with a pendulum? You cannot defeat a pendulum by fighting it. As resistance, if you resist it, it only feeds the energy which I have learned, of the pendulum. Instead, transurfing suggests specific techniques to free yourself. It says you ignore the pendulum. Transurfing is about, the theory behind it is that we live in a multiverse and that you can change into more positive paths in life and your destiny by ignoring a lot of the bad energy pendulums and putting more focus on the things that you wish to be as if they already were there. It's self-help stuff, but the pendulum idea I thought was brilliant. By observing the drama and conflict you don't get emotionally involved. You become an observer and not the participant. You drop the importance.
That's pretty zen of you, bro.
Ride the wave. I mean, I'm not good at it. You know, I'm not. If I were better at it, you know, I learned about this a while ago. I learned about it when I first heard about it. It was over 10 years ago, and I'm really fussy. I think you've noticed this. Everybody noticed this. I said this at my mother's funeral, because she was fussy, and my whole family was fussy. And I said, we're fussy people. All of us are really fussy people. And as I'm saying that, my aunt's literally going like this, because no one can see her, like hurry it up. And I'm like, I'm at my mother's funeral. And my mom herself would go, she'd go, you know what she would say? She'd go, well, that makes me steamed. That's what she would say, because she was a fussy person. I'm a fussy person. You know, my mom's fussy, and then the other half is Jewish, and that's as fussy as they come. So it's just this. Look at fucking fussy guy. So I have to learn to chill. I have to learn to chill and ride the wave a little bit more. Just kind of transurf, bro.
Transurf, bro.
Yeah, it's not trans. You're not You're transitioning the multiverse. Don't become a woman.
When I hear about that, what it makes me think is that unlimited growth is the ideology of a tumor.
That's true. It eats everything. Yeah. I think that's very good. I think that's a very good way to put it. But if you get involved in making the tumor and that's all you do, can you grow it? I think it depends on how you grow and what the goals of the pendulum are. Because I don't know if all pendulums are necessarily bad.
So when you say pendulum, that implies motion, one side to another, right?
That's his term. That's his term. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, no. It's a good way to think about it, because if you look at it, you scatter the animals from one side of the field to the other until you've got them choked up, and then you can run them into your run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I guess we'd be the sheep, or the
cattle,
or the whatever, the herded animals, and whatever energy that keeps them going. And maybe there's wolves within the pendulum. But the thing is, the wolves have their own pendulum too. So if one of them dies, or you can be the boss of the pendulum. Like, say you're the mafia boss, you're Tony Soprano. And then say, we'll do an alternate Sopranos. He goes to therapy, learns he's a bad person, and says, listen, guys, we're not going to be in the mob anymore. We're not in the mob anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to help children. We're going to help build the community. And they're going to they'll murk him because he's not with the pendulum anymore. Now this is a mafia. What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about, Tony? So if you don't go with the pendulum, this is what we do. We don't give a fuck about some child, Tony. The only children you give a fuck about your own children, and even them can come and get some if they try to mess with the mafia. This is your family, Tony. This is your family. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that,
the way that you just described it, with a mastermind behind the pendulum, it's not maintainable where at the scales that we're at. It's not maintainable by one person. I know it looks like Donald Trump owns the world, and he may have 51% right now. I have no idea, but that's still established through thought. It's still established through think tanks. It's still people that come together. Right now, they're doing it publicly. WEF is a public thing.
Well, they're meeting publicly, and what you hear is but I'm sure what's really being decided are in private rooms discussed in different language than what we hear publicly. Absolutely. Is what I would imagine.
What we hear publicly is designed to orchestrate the masses, and everybody... We know it's a show. At this point, we know it's season 3 of America, and, shit's gearing up. But we think that what they're talking about still is the most relevant thing. And maybe they come back and they actually do what they say that they're going to do, but they're very good at riding that pendulum. When they see it going too far to one side, they come back and say, you know what? You guys can't buy any more single-family homes, BlackRock. That's no longer a thing for you. And we're like, oh, shit, amazing. Maybe we're going back the other way. And we start riding the pendulum again. And then when we get to the other side of it, holy shit, that didn't hold up in court. So, unfortunately, a corporation...
Well, I tried. He tried. Well, You
I
try.
did what I could.
I mean,
Yeah, but these thoughts.
well, a lot of people.
Are
Well, a
built
lot
up.
of people.
The Supreme Court is a think tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to understand what you mean by think tank, but like, I think I get it. But a lot of people think immigration was like that. Like, why do you just bring in all like these illegal people just flooding that really are that we're not ready for, and all the benefits and all that, so many things, and money goes to them, and now we got to clear them out, right?
Okay, no.
Now
No,
I'm
we
not
don't
saying,
have to
but
do
wait,
that.
wait, hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on. That you
Sorry,
have
my
to
bad. I
understand what I'm
jumped the
saying.
gun on that one.
I'm
My bad.
not.
You're right.
I'm not me. Okay, I want to before I say this. I'm not taking a political stance in this. I'm trying to
Okay,
say,
right on.
imagine
Just talking.
myself. So you bring in all these people, and then everyone's like, too many people. Well, we got to get rid of them. How are we going to do that? Well, we need to have a new force of people that have masks on their face that now can grab them off the streets and say, like, yes, that works. So now we have ICE comes in and takes everybody off streets. And all of a sudden, now we have a new pendulum of ICE. And once the immigrants are gone or under control or whatever, then which direction are they going to look? They're going to look back at us. And all of a sudden now we have this force, this new force of regulators, of secret police force with masks on their face that can keep the population in control. So why were those people brought in? Maybe for votes, maybe to create a new police force and to have more of a martial law, more of an authoritative state, that people will ask for it. If you create disorder, people ask for order. And once the order comes, you can say, well, this is what you wanted. And all of a sudden, a lot of freedom has been lost. That might be something. I'm not saying I completely agree with that, but that might be something that some might say.
It sounds
be the
about
reason.
like how the river's been flowing, man.
I think that's what scares me the most. Like a lot of people, not the left, not the right, and all that. What scares me the most is the institutional control and the loss of like what we have and the ability to speak and the ability to like live our lives and to have like upward mobility. Like it doesn't seem like there's as much.
I have to go ahead and state that I don't feel like I've lost that. I honestly don't feel like I've lost that at all. You know, if it's one thing to record everything I say and do. I mean, if the fucking CIA really wants to see my face when I'm fucking jerking off, man, take a look, buddy. Whatever, okay? But as long as they can still hold values where, like, my home is my sanctuary, if I'm not hurting anybody, if I'm not fucking... Let me do what I want in my home, you know? Don't take away the idea that I can't have a safe space, you know? Until I gotta go rent my skateboard from the fucking library, I don't feel like we're that bad.
Rent my skateboard from the library. That's it's not your skateboard, Jake. It's our skateboard. No, you can't because
rent our skateboard from the library.
Rob's skating your skateboard, and he loosened your. Hey man, I loosened your trucks for you, brother. I hope you love it. So
it was raining and I took it anyways.
But the thing is, I'd say this. You haven't really used your freedom until, like, right now, we're sort of, I mean, I like to think that we're in the primordial times of, like, making this podcast thing. But this is where we try now to use our freedom of speech. Like, I'm not publicly saying anything. This is the first time that I've really kind of, even when I was a stand-up comic, I was living kind of foul. Not going to get into that, but I didn't really talk about how I felt about anything or really explored anything of importance. I was just on the microphone saying silly, disgusting things, trying to figure, sometimes they were funny, sometimes they were pretty stupid. Sometimes the room was full, sometimes the room only had a few people in it. But I didn't really exercise my freedom of speech and my opinions. Like, even now, I feel like I'm a little apprehensive because I don't know if my opinions are really carved out of stone as much. I think that the truth sometimes can be murky. I just want to get good at understanding how others feel and kind of articulate my view of what society is going through now. With the Japanese sword thing, with room to be flexible if new information is brought to my attention or if I'm missing something, that's fine. But I do want to talk about like all the new shit that's out there and all the things that go on all day. And it seems like now things are heating up a lot, like in the world. And when empires are big, the America, classically when empires get bigger and when they start to reach these chaotic periods, freedom of speech starts to get squeezed. Like now all of a sudden people in power do not want to hear those of us that have strong opinions. Like it seems like they'll shut you down. This is the first time like in history that we've been able to communicate worldwide. Like you're miles away from me right now, and here we are having a conversation, and then trying to give it to a bunch of strangers out there. This couldn't happen before. It'd be like we'd have to live, like we're early America, we'd have to live in Boston. We'd have to live a couple blocks from each other. We'd have to go to the same coffee house or get beer together, and then bitch. And then the government like, oh, there's the house where all those dudes bitch about the English government.
So
it was a different thing.
Illuminati a minute ago while we were talking about the think tank stuff. What do you think about Freemasonry during that time?
Wasn't that what it was about? That was it. Like it was like Freemasonry. At least what it was supposed to be about was that so people could talk outside of the church about like progressive enlightenment topics.
I don't know.
I mean, that's at least that's what they say. I mean, I'm not a Mason. I'm not a Mason, so yeah. I don't know what they. But that's at least one of the things. I mean, some would say that the Masons the reason they're Masons is that they're building the blocks of the civilization of the world, building these pendulums, basically. Like the Masonic, the big G, is the building a big pendulum that would be society, right?
Yeah.
That's is what I've always kind of thought. The big G's God or the great the great architect. Like there's
Have
all
you
sorts
ever seen any of the comparisons between the Elon Musk's symbol for X and the Freemasonry symbol? Pull it up. Pull it up real quick.
Okay. All right. Elon Musk.
No, just yeah. I guess
Symbol for X versus Freemason.
You really went word for word there. Like it.
I mean, I'm trying to get what you're talking about.
That's cool.
Is there an image here? Okay. Yeah.
We can't see what you're looking at.
Okay. Well, let me enlighten you, brother. Join my little Illuminati of the other page. So there's the X. Oh!
That's the one.
Oh, no, not you. This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that motherfucker. Ah, he got us again. Damn it.
Got us again. Okay.
Got us again.
They have this thing on X where I saw it today where you can look at X's analytics on your account. And it shows whether your account's been throttled or if it's been fucking held back or for what reasons, what your pattern of posts and reposts are, what some of your views are.
Yeah.
And
have you been throttled?
Well, mine's very neutral. I don't post very much, man. I look at stuff and it's very neutral. I try not to really get into it because, like I said, I don't feel like that's my freedom of speech. I think that's something else entirely. But if I did see other people posting who had been pulled back 95%, and they were showing screenshots of like anti-Semitism posts and hate speech and talks against Ukraine and stuff like that, right? But then
Yeah.
they also pulled up, some of it was Charlie Kirk stuff too. If you were posting theories about Charlie Kirk that didn't match the whatever, these were all on his analytics. But if you look at Candace Owens, who's a big person saying all that same stuff, hers was throttled 85%.
Like
Stu
boosted?
Peters was throttled 85%. Bro, I got on X today, and the very first video that it wasn't the first video, it was the fucking first video that they showed me after the video that I clicked on, was somebody getting shot in like a McDonald's or something. If I were to post something like that, I would be in a lot of trouble, but they show it to me all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of pendulums are they creating? So when we talk about the communication that was available back in, whatever days that they were establishing that kind of infrastructure, that kind of think tank, most of it was to relay messages to one another that didn't get adulterated by the telephone game, that didn't get heard by ears that weren't, approved of, that hadn't already been through whatever the hell to get that approval. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like just people that spies.
Not necessarily spies. No, These are the people that have built America. These are the people
I thought you...
What do you mean?
No, you're saying I thought I was like, you said that they got together to speak on their in their think tanks privately. So the government that they were like, I'm thinking the English didn't hear that spies and stuff would.
These people establish governments. They destroy governments. They move power around.
Okay, so you're talking.
Power isn't held by the hand, man. Power is given.
You're talking about the secret societies, then.
I'm talking about if Trump walks into a room and says, "I want a Diet Coke," somebody brings that motherfucker a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's the president?
Because he's the president. What does that mean? Who gives him that power? We say we gave him that power. Institutions give him that power. The very second that the military decides he's compromised and we need to save America, they, are more likely to do it. The very second that the people decide you guys are compromised, we need to save America, they're going to go and do it. So the pendulum is between, who's going to be the first to create the first stone throw that creates the fucking funnel for the cows.
Okay, so you're saying like that power is an illusion, that power is an invisible. Who said this? Power is an illusion. That's crazy. It came right up. Who said that? There's a philosopher. Was it?
But it's not an illusion. It's a very thick thing. If somebody were to walk up and slap Trump, do you know how many people would be ready to take that guy's life immediately?
Oh, but he'd be removed from the room. But anybody like if you did that like to your teacher in class, if you did that to the principal, if you did that to anyone, like, okay, if there's a skater that's kicking ass at modern,
do you get the same punishment?
Depends on the group that you did, but you're going to get like, why would you do that? But if somebody walked in that was anyone important, it's like, who said that?
See what you just said. Anyone important is the thing. Is where does their importance come from? It becomes from the respect they've earned from the people around them. When they say, "Hey man, we're gonna have to go and bomb this site," and they say, "All right, dude, we got to go bomb this site," and they go bomb that site, that's power. That's so many people coming together for that. You have to have engineers that build shit. You have to have fucking pilots that fly shit. You've got to have fucking land to fucking shoot, a platform to shoot that shit from. You've got to have people watching, you've got to have all kinds of shit to make a missile strike happen.
Yeah.
So many minds have to just give their power, their will of what they want to do over to this mechanism, this beast.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how it's been organized. That's the hierarchy because it's all
Right.
part of a massive hierarchy. And when you elect, whether you believe in the elections, I mean, you're given a choice of two people that no one can like basically within those parties in this two-party system. And now it's Trump that has. You can say that there are people behind Trump that like are more powerful than Trump, and maybe, probably. There's like people that don't like the deep state because they don't get elected. But at the end of the day, if Trump right now decided
The problem with the people who are on Trump's level, who might be against Trump, is that Trump still had the most votes of any president ever. I do believe that. This last election, I do believe that. The election before, who knows what happened with that.
Biden had more votes.
Yeah, Biden must have had more votes.
Biden had way more votes. Biden had more votes than any. I think he's had more
against him last time.
He had more votes than anybody ever.
Yeah,
Biden did. Supposedly. If you, I mean, but what I'm saying, like Trump, but you have to have whoever has the power. You know, the invisible power strain. Yeah, I mean, if any president or anybody important, like if J.D. Vance walked into a room and Trump wasn't in it. If either of them asked for a Diet Coke, it would come right to them because they're executive. They're in the executive.
The problem with that position there, especially the way that Trump and J.D. Vance, as far as I'm concerned, right now has it established, is that if the invisible powers attack that visible power structure at that level, they have so many voters behind it that it would cause real problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, they have to go, like, they have to do it officially still. Like, it's not complete, like, if all of a sudden, like, say, like, all right, Trump comes in, this is where it's getting interesting now, say, like, in Minneapolis, where Trump's like, I'm going to bring in the army, like, the United States, the feds are going to go in there, and then you have Tim Waltz say, well, I'm going to use my service, my National Guard, the Minnesota National Guard, to say no. Then all of a sudden now you have two warring parties, one's state level, one's federal level. That now has become, I think, sort of the definition of a civil war, right? That's where it starts. The Civil War starts. So
whose responsibility do you think it is to not follow orders at that point?
Well,
or
both
do you
have
think they should fight? Just in a hypothetical.
So do you think that, okay, so if Trump's saying to do it and then the National Guard is going to say, it's weird they call it the Minnesota Guard says, well, we're not going to go against the federal. I think they take I'm not sure how those are organized. Like, I think the National Guard, they take their orders from the governor, but the governor's supposed to take his orders. Does he have orders or is the governor? I'm not exactly sure how that works. That's a good question. How to figure out, where's Jamie? We need to figure out how, like, I don't know if there's an official, I mean, clearly, I think the federal, that's always been a United States thing, though. That's always been, like, since the very beginning of the United States, states' rights versus the federal rights. That's how, like, that's how the Democrat Republicans, there used to be, like, Whigs and the Democratic whatever party, like that's how it's always been, is it states' rights versus federal rights. So like how powerful is the federal government? So if Trump comes in with his federal troops, which clearly are more powerful than whatever Minnesota has, but Minnesota's like, no, we're not going to let you do that anymore, then Minnesota would now be active in some sort of civil war if they actually took it that far, if they're truly going to take it that far. Who's supposed to? I mean, if you say like if you're saying who's supposed to legally go down or who's supposed to morally stop.
I'm just asking, where do you think the line is here? Where do you think they should fight? I think Trump would take it much further than Minnesota would want, and they would end up going like, I don't think Minnesota would have the capability to keep up,
No, they wouldn't. They would not at all. They would not. I don't, clearly they wouldn't, because we'd have like the full-fledged army. And the army has gone on American soil before. General Patton was in Washington D.C. during the Great Depression And those like there's all these like shack towns and stuff. They call them like Hoover something or others. And I know that Patton had to go through and stop some massive amounts of rioting and things that happened back then during the last chaotic period that we've gone through. So this isn't like it's happened before, and that's, and clearly the actual Civil War. But I mean, you could say the divine right of the sword, that whoever's the most powerful, thou shalt win. If what are you going to do if the federal government comes down? Then you really don't have much of a choice. I mean, I'm trying to tiptoe around it and not get totally political because I have mixed feelings about it. I don't like the whole. I think the immigration thing, and this is living in L.A. and it's like, yeah, you let too many people in, and it was kind of a free for all, and there was like no real. It just didn't feel like the regulations and the mechanisms to deal with immigration were properly defined or respected. And that if we had that we clearly in LA, we needed to have or enjoyed having a lot of immigrants, but it kind of reached with the illegals, kind of a breaking point. Obama, and this is what a lot of people point out, Obama deported a lot more people, or was on pace to deport more people than Trump did, but somehow did it in a much cleaner way. This seems to be like a way that looks like it's big and flashy and has a lot of spectacle, and someone got shot and killed tragically. But I don't know how effective this is. Like, if another president, if a Democrat gets voted in the next election, or it's J.D. Vance, or something happens that we don't know, is this going to continue, or is it going to be completely the new direction, that the new way, that the new order is going to decide, and we just keep going around in this circle, getting banged on the left and the right, where it's going to be like, oh, we're sick of the left. Oh, let's go to the right. Oh, that's insane. Oh, let's go on the left. Oh, God, here, let's go on the right. And it's just like we keep hitting back and forth in this fucking pendulum. In the pendulum. Yes. The pendulum that we keep swinging on. Is that what is going to happen?
I don't know if you remember me saying before, and this was even before the last election. This is while it was coming up and everything was so crazy. I don't believe that the math would work out to remove the people who came in. I don't think that it's possible without detention camps. I don't think it's possible without arming a lot of your citizens. I don't think it's possible without a huge chaos attached with it. And the only option that we really have is to absorb these people and shut down, as far as I know, we've shut everything down, and we don't have troves of people coming in like that, which is great.
Yeah.
And we have enough room. We can absorb these people, and apparently everybody needs workers, but so whatever. But if going in and taking out people that you have intelligence on, that if I can trust that you're taking out the people that you have intelligence on, that is what you say it is, and whatever, if I can trust the institution, then I have to be able to let it do its job. So they're going to get certain people. With this Minnesota thing, if he did send somebody from the federal government, I think he should send 3 people. I think he should just the Secretary of War and a couple generals. They should just walk over there. They should have a meeting with all of his armed forces and the governor and all that, and they should just ask him to stop. And if they don't, they should just fucking cut off Minnesota from funding until they decide to stand down, until they decide to let ICE do its job. And then that's
a lot more reasonable. That sounds much more reasonable. It sounds a lot more reasonable than the Trump way, which is just bring a bunch of troops in. Which, well, I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, but that's what has been threatened.
Threatening to bring a bunch of troops in is what you do before you send your Secretary of War in there to say, here's the video of what we just did to blah, blah, blah. Do you really think that your guys can fight us? Do you think you should? These are all Americans. And they're going to say yes or no. You come in here, we're going to the teeth. Or the power structure may crumble underneath the governor, which that's what that's intended to do. You know?
Yeah,
and then
I agree. I think I agree. I agree with a lot of, because I think things could be done in a much cleaner way, which is what you say. But Trump has always been much more flashy when it comes to all this stuff.
That
it
is
always
flashy.
Seems very.
You couldn't. That would not.
That could
work.
be flat. It's flashy and nonviolent, which is a better. That is a better It's a more compromising way than actually just bringing in the damn troops and saying what's up now. With like, say we bring in like an actual, like the Humvees and helicopters and bam. And the national troops, which he's already brought in, the troops into Washington and Portland. He brought them into Portland, right? Like he's already done this, so it's not like he's getting really comfortable in pushing that button. Let's go to Venezuela. Boom. You want to do that? We're about ready to get Greenland. Boom. He's getting very comfortable in pushing that, like in that button, like in a way that I have never seen a president be. Not in our lifetime. It hasn't been like that. So, I mean, I think that, what you're saying is still like, it's still flashy what you're saying, but
I don't think that he could come to that solution without the big flash before.
Yeah, you're saying a flashy meeting rather than a flashy actual like they did in Washington D.C.
The meeting when you sent Hegseth or whoever's in, and that is not a flashy meeting. That is just a dude going on a mission. You send him with special forces. You send him with Delta. You send him with a bear. You send him on top of an elephant. You don't tell anybody about that meeting. You know what I mean? But
Trump is a very public guy. I get it, and I agree with you. And I also agree with your point.
Come out and say I'm gonna blah 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 blah, and people react just off of what they heard. Sorry.
But I agree. I agree with your points. I agree that it will be to get out. If you're going to really go and cleanse America, it's going to be maybe it's going to be like chemotherapy to a body. It's not going to be good, and it might not survive. It might not survive. I know that. Like if you look at the homelessness in Los Angeles, what do we do with it? There is no fucking solution anymore. It's like if I took you there, like somebody that's not used to seeing like zombies and people like completely in despair, lying all over the place, like everywhere, all over the place. Like it's a wasteland. Like if you would show somebody that from the 1950s and say this is 2025 or this is 20, I was there in 2017 when I lived there. I was there a couple of years ago again, and just like it's what is going on? Like entire just
Did you
class
happen
of
to
people
see that
that
viral video?
Dying.
Did you see that video that came out of Greenland? That it was all these people doing the fentanyl lean, making fun of America
in Greenland. In Greenland?
Yeah, because Trump's
were they making fun of us?
Yeah,
I've seen people make. I've seen people make fun of us. The whole thing that's hilarious. I've seen people. Let me see. I've
also saw a video.
Oh, I think it was Plato that said
space.
Power is an illusion is from Plato, I believe.
You
so let me. No, that's from fentanyl. Let me see. How do you spell fentanyl?
It's from fentanyl. Make you feel like you got some power, I guess.
Fentanyl, lean, Greenland.
You didn't see this? This is hilarious.
There's no Greenland. There's just people like doing the damn lean.
Yeah,
okay.
That's all it
Greenland. Well, no, there's no one in Greenland. It's actual people doing it.
Oh.
Here, I mean, it's the usual, like the shit that you see of people. I mean, it's this. It's just the,
Oh, that's not the video.
These are the real. I mean, this is what LA is, man. I mean, I live there. This is no joke, man. It really is like that. Like it's like this isn't like doctored up by social media. This is like, I mean, some of these might be New York or other cities, but going through LA, it's not just, it used to be downtown was terrible, but now it's Venice is like that. Anything that's LA proper is incredible. Downtown is like, it's, Dr. Drew said it. It's worse than anything you could imagine, like medieval plague, like the plague days or medieval gross, the smell. It's gnarly. It is gnarly. And there's people and there's rich kids. There's rich kids that live in lofts right outside of the most desperate people you've ever seen in your entire life. And there's people with like $1.5 million room that live up there, artists and kids that the parents have bought them shit that have to go walk down to get their coffee and just through the madness that's underneath. It's so strange. Modern world. Cool. But to clean all that up, yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's going to be, to clean it up and make it this perfect American capitalist utopia that people seem to want. Like, it's Leave It to Beaver again, and it's like Andy Griffith's show. I don't know. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I think cutting off the border is a good thing, or at least making it like, I believe in the wall, but I believe in a big, beautiful door where it is done in a way that people can come in if they're good and they can help. Like maybe companies that need to source people that can, immigrants that want to help and like actually build a life. And I think there's a way to vet them in a better way than it has been. I don't have the solutions on this. I just think that there's probably a better way. And I don't like watching like these crazy scenes. Like I don't like watching the lady get shot. I don't like the watching. I don't like the watching lady. I don't like you telling that story about being in Texas and seeing like some dude like just out working landscaping and having a bunch of guys go and screw with him and schools get thrown. I just think it's like that doesn't even seem to help the problem. It's just going to make people feel more bad for the immigrants that are.
I think there's another side. It could also
victim.
be theatrics. It could also just
yeah.
be
He likes Trump likes theater. He loves it. He's from TV. He's from TV. He's a TV character that played a billionaire on TV. He stopped doing a lot of real estate. I think pretty like in the night, like after he went bankrupt and just started selling his name Trump as this thing that means wealth and gaudy opulence.
Having a company that goes bankrupt is definitely different than going bankrupt. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah, he's had a few. Yeah, but I'm saying I think he changed over. Like he changed over from being actually real estate as his primary source to being more personality based and more fame based. Like he was like, I'm a celebrity more than I'm a real estate mogul. But his like claim to fame is I'm the real estate mogul that everyone's heard of that lives on TV. And he knows how to market himself. And he knows how to run a television show. And he believes in power being something that is a storyline like World War, and we'll do this because the storyline tells it, and he plays by those rules. He doesn't play by the rules necessarily of might versus right. He plays by the rules of like people will believe. Like he plays more by the rules of like the story of a big showing. And I will do like the shock and awe thing where he will really kind of put forth a big gesture and everybody will follow it because that's the thing to do. If you understand what I mean. Like it's not, it really is kind of a lot of pageantry and a lot of spectacle. He follows the rules of spectacle and he really likes spectacle. He's shown that over and over again. That here we go again, a big spectacle. All of a sudden he'll come up with we want Greenland. We want it. We need it. In some ways, I don't hate that idea if it's not a big deal. Like it is our hemisphere. There is a lot of things to be gained from having it. But it's in this hemisphere. Was it the Monroe Doctrine? So, I mean, if it all works out, I have to live. He's the one calling the tune. You know, we got to dance to the tune that he calls, and if it works out for the best, great. If not,
or like
I'm just very.
We could ignore the pendulum.
I'm an observer. I'm watching this shit on computer. I don't watch TV. I watch computer. Watching this on computer and phone. So the only thing I can do is try to ride these waves and not get too caught up in that, and try to perfect my life and try to perfect myself. I know I'll never be perfect.
Let me ask you a
I
question.
can try to get better.
Let me ask you a question. You say you got to ride these waves. If you're on a boat and you're stuck in a whirlpool, what do? What should you do?
I don't know. I don't know. What is there an answer to this?
Absolutely.
Call a helicopter?
No, they got no time. No, you drop your anchor.
Oh.
You drop your anchor. Whirlpool is like an inverted tornado, and it takes everything that would normally float and sucks it to the bottom, and it takes everything that would go to the bottom and shoots it out like a tornado.
So the anchor would go
down,
this.
It gets caught in the current, and you get sucked out of the whirlpool.
And it pulls you out.
And it pulls you out. That's the hope. Yeah. Other than that, you're getting sucked to the bottom of the whirlpool, and your boat's gonna wreck, and you're gonna die.
Are we in a whirlpool right now?
I believe so.
What's our anchor? How do I put my where do I get an anchor? What is an anchor? What's my anchor? Is it the same as your anchor?
I believe we all have the same anchor, yeah, whether we choose it or not.
Are you going to tell me?
You know I am. You know I am. You know I fucking am.
Oh wow, dude. Are you going to tell me?
I really believe that. I mean, I don't think that there's any way that anybody could stop the machine. But I do think that there's a way that the machine could change its mind.
I think the machine, like, again, I don't know if there needs to actually be an operator of the machine, but clearly, I think right now we're kind of in the stormy winter period of the big cycle. I believe in that whole thing.
Let's talk about
what's
going on right now. Right now, we have probably the biggest movement of right-wing youth that we've had in a long time. They're getting kids all riled up for crazy reasons. They're all fucking violent because parents don't parent. You know what I mean? So
mostly men. Mostly the boys. The girls have gone more left. The boys have gone more right.
That's what I said, young men. Young men.
Further separating and making the dating market, like, it makes it harder because then the more separate boys and girls are, the more lonely the boys are, and the more apt they are to become more right wing and more black. It's not even red pilled anymore. It's called black pilled. That's what those guys like. That's the whole black pilled is just very narcissistic way of looking at the world.
Well, I mean, when you throw that anchor, it's because you know that's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So it may seem narcissistic to the people who are saying, I don't want to, date a specific type of woman, or, or I don't want to take a certain type of job or buy a certain product. But if you don't have something firm that you're standing on, you're just going to keep feeding the whirlpool.
Feeding the pendulum. Whirlpool.
Feeding pendulum. The pendulum, yeah.
The energy.
I think when Charybdis opens its mouth, man, it's because she's hungry.
I honestly do. I think that we're in the chaotic period. And I think that there is people are hungry for something. I think
right. I'm sorry. I'm my bad. I just the little
well, like I said before,
kind of fucks it up.
I think that it's going to come that at some point it most likely will come to a head, and there most likely will be, whether it's us speaking it into existence or it's just the natural thing that there's going to be some sort of conflict, and then what comes out of that people will find another anchor within society again. But we're living in a very selfish time. People don't trust each other. You can't even trust anybody. You kind of almost are in. That was going to be one of the things I wanted to talk about. I was going to show the conversation that those guys in Miami were having, three of them, before they went to the nightclub. And it was like the younger one was all about like, well, why even care about other people? It's all about yourself and how much you can push yourself and how much you can push yourself forward. And then maybe at a certain point when you get big enough, you can finally, give yourself oxygen before you help anyone else out. But right now it's all about myself and that. And he's 20 years old. And the older one was like, well, if we get together, we'll have more power. But that's what it seems to be about, that we are in interesting times where the mechanisms of the past do not, they don't help harvenge, which is the word I'm looking for. They're not very good at maintaining the machine that works as a society anymore. That the mechanisms that are the God, why can't I hate it when I forget words? I do that. Like I'll be on a roll and I'll forget a word, but it's the mechanisms of the past aren't good at like the keepers of the machine. It doesn't like the watch isn't working properly anymore. So at some point it's going to have to get refurbished, and the refurbishment is a bit painful. But at the end, like you said before, the winter there is always a spring. That there's always a spring after it.
And there's
it's just natural. Well, it's going to go beyond that, and it's going to go into like actual like physical stuff, and then from there hopefully something good comes of it. That all of this has been predicted. It's happened before. It's happened to in other places, other civilizations, and we'll get through it, and what's going to happen is going to happen, and you just got to surf it, man. Like right now, everything's so complicated. It's not even complex, it's complicated. Like the difference between complex, like a simple A and B, and then complex is C. And then you put that, and you can jump to these things. Complicated's a mess, where everything comes out complicated. And I think now we're kind of in a lot of knots. And at some point, it might take and I'm not necessarily amped about it. I don't think I'm ready for anything like any sort of real conflict, but in these models that I'm looking at, in these people that are smart, that have predicted these things a long time ago and have seen it happen in the past, that have studied history, it's all sort of been predicted and expected. And
okay, so when the Roman Empire fell, did it really fall?
Well, the Roman Empire didn't fall, like they say, it didn't fall in a day, and it fell a few times and then was rebuilt again. And if America follows that, well, if it does, it's the Catholic Church.
Amen.
I think
to
the
that.
remnants.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Was the Roman Empire reformed itself into a Catholic Church? It reached a point where the mechanisms of control that it had reached the limits of what they could hold. So they reestablished power and information within the Catholic Church. Right? The same thing.
Yeah. And now it's, who knows? I was actually asking Grok the other week how Claude, or was it one of them, would not tell me. It was saying, I asked him, how much money, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm not back here. Hold on.
Hello?
Where's it at?
Oh, come on. He's gone.
I'm coming back.
Gone.
Hold up.
He's gone.
No, he's not
this?
gone.
Hi. Here, he's back. Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I think. I don't know. I wish there was a way to pause this. Here we go. Trial by fire for sure. Not having a clue how to do it. Raise hand. I don't want to hit stop because I don't know what that's going to do. I wish there was a way to pause this recording. I'm going to go ahead. He's gone again. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. Hopefully we can start it again. Hey, I'm back. I don't know if this is going to be doing a separate one or not. And if anyone's actually watching this, thank you. Number one, thank you for watching this. But we're having like a little technical problem where Jake has left. He just texted me that he got a call on his phone, so then it just stopped recording. So I'm hoping that when I hit the stop button, it's going to be like the pause button, and it'll be easily and seamlessly push it together, or I can edit this away. I don't know, or keep it in, warts and all. Just because it's bad, like to me right now in the moment, sort of stressful, and I have to deal with it, doesn't mean it's not something that is not, adds a little bit to it, a little bit of rust, a little bit of wear and tear, a couple scars, But now it looks like he's completely gone. So I don't know. I think this is, if people are watching this and this is somehow makes it onto the big podcast, I'm still learning this platform, and I am uploading it to YouTube, but the whole goal is to get better and better. As I've said in these, as I've made them, the goal is these are kind of the preliminary ones where we're just chit-chatting about stuff in the world and trying to get better at podcasting in general. Get better at chit-chatting. Why not? And, he's back. He's back.
Hey, sorry about that, dude. I thought I had my shit on Don't Disturb, but...
You look incredibly... Now you look incredibly clear. I pushed stop, and I don't know if that merges together the pod... Like, I wanted a pause, so it pauses, and then it just continues. But I don't have that option here. And I was just explaining to anybody that might be watching this, if there is, just like that, part of the charm of this is that we don't really know what we're doing clearly when it comes to a lot of the technical stuff, and we're just using this to get better at speaking in a podcast fashion on podcast technology. And that maybe we'll keep it warts and all. I said warts and all, that little wart there, a little beauty, not even a wart, it's a beauty mark.
Beauty mark, yeah.
Hopefully, because I don't want to be able now, this is going to be an entirely new fucking thing, and figuring out, me, the central processor in my mind starts to get heated when I try to do the technology, and there's not someone there to tell me how to do it.
On my end, it said that I was in here, just my video feed was black, and I could hear you, your end was fine.
You completely left.
Yeah,
like
but
you
when
went
I
and you
came
went
back,
all black.
After I ignored the call, I put my shit on Don't Disturb, which I thought it was before, so my bad. And then when I came back to it, it let me back into the studio, but like when I hit the video and mic things to try to reset it, it kept turning it off. So at one point I hit it, and you're like, oh no, he's not there. And then I hit it again, and it came back, but the video feed was black. It wouldn't send anything. So I left the studio, and then I rejoined the studio. It was still said it had to upload, but there was a rejoin option. So I hit the rejoin option, and we're back. And you were telling me what Claude was going to say after we were talking about.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Joe Rogan never had to put up with this shit.
Yeah, they take pee breaks.
If he did, he doesn't anymore.
They take pee breaks.
Yeah, he had Red Band in the beginning, which this was the technology wasn't nearly as seamless as it is now. We were at the Roman Empire. What was it? There
Roman
was some
Empire
point that I was
into a church, and then you were talking about what Claude said, or you were talking a conversation with Claude.
Oh, I was asking because I was thinking about like how powerful is the Roman Empire today, and I asked Claude how much money it had, and Claude, I think it was Claude. No, it might have no. It was Google. I'm not gonna throw Claude under the bus. It was Google. I was Google AIing how much did it have, and it was telling me, like 1 or 3 trillion. I'm like, 1 or 3 trillion? All that property, all that art, all that gold, thousands of years of donations in untaxed accounts, and all these crazy things that we probably don't even know about. Are you fucking kidding me? 2 trillion? That seems pretty. So Elon's almost as rich as this thing that owns more real estate in the world than any other organization. That doesn't seem right. So me and Grok, we got into it. And I was sitting there talking, and I started mentioning all that, and it kept going, oh, you're right. And it kept adding to it. And it goes, well, how much do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's 10 trillion? It goes, try like somewhere between 20 and 30 trillion at minimum. So I'm like, it has as much money as the United States. It's like, well, if you start to talk like that, well, not just that, when we talk pendulums, spiritual energy, the manpower. South America and the Catholic Church, are you kidding how powerful? Like, South America, they're all Catholic down there. Like, all Catholic down there. So, if they are the Roman Empire and their empire is of the spiritual realm, I know that I heard that they're looking for alien life, like if they ever find intelligent alien life, because they want to convert them. They want to convert. They make good Catholics, these guys.
They would
these
make
Alpha
good
Centurions.
Catholics.
They make good Catholics. Listen to the
good
Pope.
Catholics.
Listen to the Pope.
Yeah.
The Pope is coming. The Pope is here. It's the Pope. We made him a spaghetti meal. But
Don't
the
you
Pope.
see my hat? That's funny.
You ever seen the Pope? Here. You ever seen? Let's see if I can bring this up. We gotta leave soon. I got the sweet potatoes. The Pope is coming. Let's see if this is still. Oh yeah.